Hi. I got the first batch of derivative Citra that was sent up here, at least in can form. And this one, I only had a taste of it once a couple days ago when I was drinking with my friend, and it was pretty good. It had the same profile as all their other derivatives. They're all very soft and fluffy and easy and mild, and I really appreciate that, but it kind of seems like it depends on my mood whether I want something that's a little bit danker and more dry. We'll see what I think about this one right now. I haven't drank anything yet today. So it's 6%, and according to the social media stuff from Derivative, I figure this is about 2 weeks old. They don't put dates on their cans. Oh, actually, looks like maybe they tried to print something. I know some schmutz on there. So only Citra hops in this one, but the base and the yeast for this series is really expressive and seems to give a lot of the derivatives a very similar fruitiness and softness and kind of vanilla sweet candy profile. And yeah, with Citra on top of it, this is really big on the candied tropical fruit elements, but it really smells almost like they added vanilla to this. Their yeast just creates the creamiest aroma in their beers. It's really amazing. Like I had this even after having Treehouse, which their yeast is really intense too and kind of vanilla-y, but it has a different tangy thing going on. It's not quite like this. And yeah, all these Proclamation beers tend to look really beautiful, have a really nice head. So glad they're shipping them up here again. Yeah, and it's so sweet. It almost smells like something you call like a cream ale because there's just so much creaminess. I'm not even getting a lot of orange or citrus notes right now. It's just like peaches and cream, sugary pineapple, almost marshmallow. Yeah, almost marshmallow coconut, but not really toasted coconut. It's pretty amazing, but there's no weird non-beer ingredients in here, no non-traditional ingredients. Pretty full body for 6%, but it is quite murky. I think it's not exactly murky. It's not gray. My finger is blocking the light a teeny bit through there, but quite hazy. Very low in the bitterness. Quite sweet. If you're in the mood for a sweeter IPA, I guess they don't call it an IPA. They call it a pale ale. That makes sense, and it's 6%. I think that's a good call. And if you like Pseudo Sue, I bet you'll like this one. I think this is even better than Pseudo Sue because Pseudo Sue is pretty darn sweet too and mellow in terms of bitterness and all that stuff. But both of these are big on body and flavor. Yeah, and I like this a lot more than Aetherius. That's their one IPA that seems to be pretty different from their other ones. A little darker, less hazy. But this is really nice. Maybe I would prefer the Galaxy one because Galaxy seems to give me more of a green, bitter, hoppy punch, and that deals with the sweet body and yeastiness from this series. But usually I like Citra more, but just the combination of it just makes this ultimate creamy thing. Now that I think about it, it reminds me a lot of River Roost, which is a really small brewery in Vermont that's pretty new, that's making lots of really creamy, soft, easy IPAs like this. They're kind of on the sweet side. Yeah, this makes me think quite a bit of River Roost. After a few sips of this, it has a little bit more of a juicy thing going on, but it finishes with this really sweet, mild spice like vanilla, like how vanilla has, I don't know, a slight deep spicy character to it, even though it brings out the sweetness in a lot of foods and beverages that it's used in. It's just amazing. Like, they don't need to add lactose and vanilla or any of that stuff to this beer to make it like creamy and almost like a shake. I guess the mouthfeel isn't that syrupy and thick. Quite sweet, but it's not. It's drying out my tongue a little bit. Yeah, it's not slick on the tongue. There's a little bit of a texture. I almost feel like that comes from the intense dry hopping and unfiltered. All the stuff in there is giving it a little bit of a, dare I say, chalky body, but nothing like the chalky beers that I complain about, where the chalk messes up, makes it too bitter or just detracts from the hop fruitiness and the yeast. This one is not that. It has just a teeny bit of that to add some bitterness, but the actual measurable IBUs in this are probably extremely low. And I think this series is a little bit different from 2 years ago when they used to ship the bombers of it over here. They've definitely made it creamier, hazier. I would highly recommend trying this, but if you're in the mood for something that's danker, more bitter, more dry, this is not what you're looking for. This is the kind of IPA I would give to, or I guess pale ale. I would give to people who say, "Oh, I don't really like hops and stuff like that." Like my friend thought he didn't like IPAs, and now he had the New England juicy stuff, and it's like, wait a minute, this is great. He liked this one more than the Finback or the Treehouse, or there's one other we had. He liked this one the most because it kind of appeals to, I think, like a Hefeweizen drinker's palate a little bit. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy. And I would do 4.25 for this one. The only thing I would say is if they could make it just a tad more bitter, just a little bit more dry, so it'd be more refreshing and gulpable. Because it is pretty sweet right now. I actually think it might be good if I like blend in some other IPA I have that's a little bit more dry and bitter. That's what I've been doing these days, is kind of perfecting them, taking the dregs out of some cans, pouring them into other ones to make my perfect mix, because these beers are becoming so similar that it's not like you're mixing a Stone IPA into a Trillium, which would be really gross. But highly recommend any of the derivative series from Proclamation. Really high quality and not crazy expensive. That's it. Bye.